Hey YouTube, today I'm doing a video on pixel art. And if pixel art has any life, especially in a sports game like you see behind me here. Now what you see here is a game I love. It's called All Pro Football 2K8. To me, it's the #1 football game ever made on the field. The gameplay to me is second to none, but the game has 3D models in it, like a lot of AAA games have nowadays, right? This game's from 2007. So back then, you didn't have pixel art as your mainstream, but over time, pixel art to me has grown in popularity. If you're a PC gamer or an indie gamer, you know very well that PC and indie games share a lot of pixel art as their main style of art. And there are plenty of successful games out there that do pixel art very well. Now, I'm a guy from back in the 80s, and I used to play Nintendo, arcade games, Atari, Genesis, Super NES. I mean, all the games that were popular back in the day that were pixel art. Neo Geo has some of the most classic pixel art that you're ever going to see, right? And to me, pixel art's one of those things that's very much timeless. It doesn't die. I've mentioned that in my previous videos, and I am a huge fan of pixel art. I love it. I love it, right? Now, the realism or the reality of a 3D game, like the latest AAA titles, yeah, it's cool to see texture and all this great UV lighting and all this awesome texturing and 3D and models and all that great stuff and high res. I love all that stuff, right? HD, Super HD, 4K quality. It's a 4K TV behind me, right? It's playing an older game, but still, there's a time and a place for that. But for me, I love pixel art games, and there are plenty of pixel art games out there. And I want to know what you guys think about pixel art games, and I wanted to share my thoughts on what I think about pixel art. And do I think it has a life in today's day and age? And do I think it's growing in popularity? And I'll start out by saying that I've always had a thing for pixel art. I love the old school games, like the Zelda from the Super NES was fabulous. All those Neo Geo classics were amazing. All the fighting games they had back then were really awesome, right? The Tecmo Bowl arcade game was just fabulous. I mean, all these things all these games like the Mario, series and just all of the old school pixel art games, Tecmo Bowl, those games had really cool style to them. And they weren't fancy and they didn't do anything too over the top, but they were fun. And they were also engaging and challenging. And the NES games back in the day were the most challenging games, right? But when I think about pixel art, I think about those days. I think about when things were a lot more just, I don't know, they were simple, but they were so deep when it comes to complexity. And when I say they were deep in terms of challenge and all that, but they weren't super complex. Anyone can come up and just grab a joystick and just start playing them. But to get really good and to be one of the top players in those games, you had to spend some time and earn your way and get your stick skills going, So with that said, I like 3D art too, right? But when it comes to a sports game, a lot of the indie games nowadays, you don't see a lot of sports games. I mean, there are huge indie channels out there on YouTube, and they don't even talk about indie sports games. And I somewhat find it, hard to believe that people aren't interested in sports games when it comes to a pixel art type of graphical design and art and for the players and all that. How could people not be interested? I don't know. There are so many people out there that are around my generation that love those games growing up. Yeah, they're not playing as many games nowadays, maybe as they used to, but there are a lot of people out there who play games, and there's a huge market for indie games out there and pixel art style games. And I really think that there is some sort of novelty when it comes to pixel art, right? And if you guys like pixel art or you don't like pixel art, just think about what it would be like to have more variety and more games, especially sports games, when it came to that cool, awesome, old school pixel art style. And pixel art is very much a technique. It's not a simple thing where you just grab a skeleton and throw some texture on it and throw some paint on it and you're done. No, I mean, pixel art is beautiful. And there are a lot of cool games out there in the indie scene that you guys should check out that are awesome when it comes to pixel art. I mean, Metal Slug series, that series on Neo Geo was beautiful. They had some of the best pixel art, and all the King of Fighter games back in the day were awesome too. So there's just so many games. I can go on and on and on and list them all, but I think that there is life and there's definitely a market for those type of games, especially in the sport arena, because we don't have a lot of them, you know, and there are a lot of titles out there that have done very well that are pixel art games and indie games, and I love them. I absolutely love them. So yeah, do I like 3D art? Of course. Do I think it looks pretty cool when you can tackle someone and you see all these crazy animations? Yeah. But I'm also a huge fan of these old school pixel art games, and I think that they're beautiful. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And I just love the art that's going on in my game. I think it's just growing little by little and getting better and better and better with everything I do. I'm working on the career mode right now, and it's just looking awesome. There's so many cool things we have that we want to do in the career mode, but you know, it takes time. And maybe down the road, maybe I make a 3D game down the road. I love Super Mega Baseball. That's a game that I really enjoy playing, and it's a 3D game. Now they do more of a cartoony look to it, but the game is beautiful. The scenery is awesome, and there's something to be said about 3D also. But when it comes to pixel art, that to me is just one of my favorite things, and there's just a style to it, and it's just awesome. And back in the day, like I said, it was super, super popular. That's all we had. That's all that the hardware could handle, right? Back in the day. But nowadays, it can handle so much. It can handle like virtual reality and all this crazy stuff. And it just gets to a point where you cross between what's fun and what's simulation, which we talk about simulation. And simulation, if you go all the way to pure simulation, that might not always be fun. You know, there's a fan base out there that wants to live out like an MMO game, like World of Warcraft. They want to live out some fantasy life in a simulation environment, right? But most people, or a lot of people out there, also just want to have fun. They want to have a challenging game, and they want to have a simple type of gameplay with some nice, cool art on there. And I just miss those days. And I'm so glad that the indie game scene's out there. I'm so glad to be a part of the indie game scene. And I think that there's going to be a lot more games coming out. And I just hope that there's sports games out there that are going to keep coming out. Mine's going to be one of them. And I hope you guys check it out, obviously. And but I'm a fan of them. I want to see more of them out there. There are plenty of ones out there, but there's just not enough when it comes to sports, right? So you're going to be seeing my game come out for sure. And I hope that you guys pick it up. Hope you guys check it out. If you like what you see, there's going to be more stuff on my channel on it. But let me know what you guys think about pixel art. Do you guys think pixel art's dead? Do you guys think that it still has life? Do you like pixel art better than this type of art here? You know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that there's a market for sports games in a pixel art graphical style? Do you think we have a shortage of them? Would you play them? Would you play them on PC or console or Switch or what? You know, give me your thoughts. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we all like out there, and maybe we're gonna have more games in the future, right? But in the meantime, I'm working on one. You guys should see it at some point. Hopefully I can get the game finished. Hopefully I can get it out to you guys. And I'm going to have pixel art in that game. And I'm excited to have it. So I'll catch you guys next time in the next video. Thanks for watching. Another video, pixel art, indie game, 3D. What do you guys like? Hit the comments down here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later.